Artigas are there on row 2 of the grid. With row 3, another 3 contenders, Gerard Rio, Nicolas Spinelli, and look out for the Brazilian Diogo Moreira.
Yeah, Filippo Palazzi completes the top 10 ahead of Fernandez and Fusco. Starts from 13 ahead of Munoz and Kazuki Masaki, with Clement Rouget and Munoz and Senna Agius on row 6. Remember, Agius got involved in a crash in turn 1 earlier on today.
You need to look for then on row the Broxton have made good progress so far, but no man has made better progress than the 28 of the Ethan Guevara. Once again, he starts from row 8 of the grid. Can he come up with more Motorland's magic?
Yes, and on row 10 we have Asman, Rehacek and Diaz. And on the final row of the grid we have Jose Rueda starting ahead of Hasegawa and Vostacek. He has come from 32nd on the grid twice this weekend to finish 12th and 13th across the 2 races. So he's gained almost 40 positions on aggregate across his 2 races already this weekend.
Yeah, he's another man that's really gone under the radar, I think, as Jose Rueda, despite only picking up, 5-6 points throughout the 2 days so far. It has been a sensational performance from him, and it really doesn't do justice what he's had to do from the penultimate row of the grid. He's hoping to do it again and maybe find himself inside the top 10. He's certainly got experience of it now, as has Ethan Guevara. Reminder that on lap 1 yesterday, he picked up 11 places, and on lap 1 earlier today, he picked up the pathetic 10 places instead. So that's what we're dealing with on lap 1. Keep your eye on the black helmeted Aspar, number 28 of Ethan Guevara. He'll be the man bobbing and weaving his way through the field.
Yeah, as I mentioned earlier, he's made it look easy, but really it isn't, because you have to get a good start, because he's in a position with starting so far back. He's basically got to make no mistakes throughout the race, because if he gets a bad start from 22nd on the grid and finds himself down in 24th or 25th at the end of the first lap, his race in terms of challenging for the win is over. He almost has to make up 9, 10, 11 places on the first lap to get himself in touch before the field starts to split up, and then the natural spread of the field leaves him way too far back. So he's having to be aggressive on that very first lap, and he is doing exactly that. But as I mentioned, there's so much that could go wrong on the first lap of the race, particularly at turn 1, which is so tight, so congested. Of course, the crash that happened early on in the race involving Senna Agius and Boazri, those 2 riders started just a couple of places ahead of Boazri. Was 2 places ahead of him on the grid, and Agius was 4 places ahead of him on the grid. So easy for an incident like that to take out Guevara if you're in the wrong place at the wrong time.
The guys on the first and second rows of the grid will be more determined for race 1 today. What on earth are you playing at? Why are you letting a lad from row 8 on the grid win the race again? Okay, boss, I'll try and stop it this time around. Unfortunately, they've had no response to him so far, as Guevara, despite the penalty on Friday, well, not penalty, penalised himself from qualifying all the way down on row 8, has somehow managed to find himself just 15 points now adrift of Xavi Artigas in the fight to become the junior world champion in 2020 and join an illustrious list of names. Meanwhile, got a little bit of a tit-for-tat going on as we make their way into the grid between, I think that is the number 24 of Leonardo Taccini and his compatriot Raffaele Busco. I'm not sure what happened there, but the pair of them were doing some rather interesting hand gestures towards one another, probably just riling themselves up, ready to go to battle. 15 laps ahead of the Junior Moto3 World Championship. Red flag moves away. It's Holgado, Garcia, and Acosta on the front row once again. We wait for the lights to come on, and the final bit of Junior World Championship action here in Aragon is underway. A short, sharp burst down to turn 1. We've seen Holgado take the whole shot on 2 occasions so far this weekend, and he's done it again. And once again, he's 3 or 4 bike lengths clear of Acosta, who settles into second.
Yeah, they've held station amongst the leading 6 to 2. The leading Husqvarna riders got pushed way out wide at turn 1, but Masaki and Fernandez were on the wrong side of the racetrack, unfortunately for them. At the first corner, still leading Garcia, looking to get up the inside, but he can't quite do it on Acosta, and he's now under pressure from Lorenzo Fallon as they go into the tight left-hander. Artigas is still there, he's still running in 6th at the moment. I think he's actually gained the players up to 5th as Max Cook has dropped back as they come through the first sector at the moment. Ethan Guevara is up 5 places already to 17th.
Holgado goes wide, he goes well wide, and he drops from 1st down to 4th place. Now 5th is in because both Artigas and Fallon are looking for a way through, but fair play to Holgado, he holds on around the outside and keeps himself in 3rd place. An early mistake from Holgado, and that hands the lead to Pietro Acosta.
Yeah, it's the last thing he needs. Just a little mini high side there in the middle of the pack as well as the riders fight for grip on the exit of turn 9, then they round turn 10. But it is Acosta at the moment who's got the lead. Garcia's having a look up the inside of him. Acosta, of course, spent more time than most in the lead in this earlier on today. Guevara, by the way, is 14th already.
Absolutely incredible. He's doing it again. No jump start. So once again, he's timed that start to perfection. And I'm sure, as we saw earlier in the day, bit of a moment there for one of the Realia Vinti guys, and another one. I think that was Adrian Fernandez. Someone's gone straight on. Probably one of the Munoz brothers. It looks like the green of the number 7. Daniel Munoz.
He's down as well.
Yeah, he's crashed out as Daniel Munoz. Disaster for the number 7 on the first lap of this race here, and it looks as though it was disaster for Adrian Fernandez as well, because the younger brother Ralph Fernandez has been caught up in that one and finds himself 18th Arizona. Meanwhile, Guevara already up to 11 places in the space of a lap. He's on the charge once more. Look out for the number 28, because here he comes.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, he looked like he got swallowed up a bit on the run down to the final corner, actually, so he might have lost a place. He comes across the line, he's 11th, so he did hold station. There's already a little bit of a break in the group look as you look at Max Cook, who I think might be towards the back of that group as they come through turn 1. He crossed the line in 8th position, but I think he got swallowed up a little bit at the end of that straight. But the 8 riders at the front are away and clear. Gerard Ryu leads the second group, which involves Guevara.
Well, it looks as though breaking the group because Spinelli going down, the man that started from the middle of the second row, he's crashed out at turn 16 and was just ahead of Max Cook in the opening stages of this one. So his crash at turn 16 may well have caused the guys just to sit up a little bit as they flicked left for 16 and 17. There he is, the Italian, fortunately walking away. I'm not surprised, he looks a little bit battered and bruised as a result of going down at turn 16. This super fast left-hander. Olgado on the move to second. He's past Acosta.
Yeah, he is, and Jose Garcia continues to lead the way. He's had a very, very consistent run of late. Podiums in the last 3 races, although the last 2 of those have come this weekend, of course. Left-hander there of turn 3. Guevara is flying. He's in that leading group. It's not taking him long. I didn't mention at the end of that first lap that there was a bit of a split in that group, which would have been a concern to him, but it's not concerned him at all. He's already passed the door, and he's just carved up the inside of Moreira too, I think, just as they flash through the frame. I make it 6th position already for him.
Absolutely incredible. He's going to lap 5 in race 2. He probably is going to be there by lap 4 this time around. Quite sensational from Guevara. I thought he was going to slow down as we went through the weekend. Unfortunately for the guys in front of him, he's getting quicker and quicker and quicker. Meanwhile, at the front, it's still Artigas, the championship leader, that leads the way. Olgado there in second, Garcia in third, with Malone now in fourth. Acosta has just lost out over the past half a lap because he's dropped down to 5th.
Yeah, and if you think you're getting deja vu, imagine what these guys will think when they see that 28 up with them. They'll think, oh, not him again. The rider who just carved his way through the field in race 1 and race 2 of this weekend. Took victories in both from 22nd on the grid, and he's doing it again. And it'll almost be a bit of a mental edge on these riders, because these guys know that once he gets to the front, he is so hard to beat.
Incredible stuff from Guevara. Pelvis just 1 month ago, but he's gritting his teeth and trying to go with this leading 8 group. Fair play to Max Cook, the Swindonian. He's certainly showing what sort of a warrior he is.
Once again, Guevara way faster than everyone else. A 2 minutes, 0.119 on that lap. The only rider that I can see in the 2 minutes, although 2 riders, Moreira just behind him, he's probably taking a nice bit of slipstream from his rival. But also Artigas, a quick lap on him, just inside 201s. He's pulled out a 3:10 lead. Perhaps Artigas is well aware the Olgado is not only in the group, but Guevara's not in the group, but immediately behind him. And Artigas knows that he's got to get his foot on it and increase the pace, because he's already under pressure from not only the main contender of this race, but his main championship contender.
I'm honestly lost for words once again. We didn't think he'd be able to go any better. He's going to hit the front on lap 4, having started. There he goes, hits the front. Unbelievable from Ethan Guevara. He was 22nd on the grid 3.5 laps ago, and now he's leading the Junior World Championship race. He's done it once before, he's done it twice before, but it's still an amazing achievement. What a rider this kid is.
I'm almost wondering, the pace he's shown over his first 2 laps, he might have the pace to just break these guys. He's hitting the front, as you say, so early in the race. He might as well just continue on this rhythm. His amazing pace he's setting, just ask the riders behind him, okay, chaps, how many of you can match this? Because he's able to lap in the late 59s and the low 2 minutes, whereas everyone else is struggling against everything to try and even do a 2 minutes 0.9 at the moment. Artigas will look to try and just lap himself. try and match his pace, but this is an astonishing ride. We've seen it twice already. We've seen Ethan Guevara, but it doesn't get any less impressive, even if he's now losing the lead to Artigas. This is an incredible ride from Ethan Guevara as the three championship contenders, the leading three championship contenders, now go wheel to wheel at the front.
Well, following him in race 1 and 2 hasn't worked so far for Artigas and Acosta, so they're going to have to go for a different tactic. They're going to have to get the elbows and the knees out and try and be as aggressive as possible and not allow Guevara to get into any kind of rhythm at the front, which is easier said than done when he just motors around the outside of them into turn 1.
Yeah, he's so quick off the corners, isn't he? We've seen it in the first two races already. Out of turn 15 onto the back straight, he gets such a good run out of that corner that there's nothing that anyone can do. Artigas tried it yesterday, and earlier on today, Pedro Acosta tried it. They just couldn't get the inside as Garcia now gets involved. Takes 2 and 1 through turn 3. The fourth of our championship contenders now getting himself in on the action.
What a move that was from Garcia, 2 in 1 through the super brave turn number 4. He flicked his way through there, up the inside of not only
got pushed out wide. We saw them come on strong late in the race yesterday, but they're going to have to come from a long way back today.
Here are the men 1, 2, 3, 4 in the championship picture at the moment. Guevara, Acosta, Garcia and Artigas all tucked in behind one another. They go down the back straight, they then fan out 3 abreast with Acosta. Now, the 16-year-old New Yorker is dropped from 1st to 4th.
Yeah, he's in a good position though now, though, as they come across the southwest line right in front of us out of the window. He's going to get a 3-bike slipstream as we come to turn 1. That just tells you just how windy it is. The rider that flag is in tribute of, currently on the inside of Acosta for 3rd position. Guevara did manage to take 2 or 3 ahead of him. He's up to 2nd now. The lead now being held by Jose Garcia, who started that lap in 2nd. So we've seen throughout this weekend, particularly in the European Talent Cup and in this Moto3 class, Artigas now makes a move, another forceful move on Guevara, who gets beaten up a bit. Acosta's going to take full advantage of that as well and relegate into 4th. If you lead out of that final corner, you're almost a sitting duck down the main straight because it's such a powerful slipstream here. There's 3 or 4 riders who could just power past you on the run down to turn 1. Guevara now has his teammate to worry about.
So there we go, suddenly the gloves are off and Ethan Guevara is not having it his own way. Everybody's fed up of watching a 16-year-old.
Salvador's taken him too.
He has. He's dropped down to 6th place and everybody, well, they're fed up of him. They've had enough of him coming through and making them all look like books. So they decided to get their own back and they pushed him back to 6th place. How will he respond now?
Sending him back to where he started. Well, he's got the 2 Australian Galicia riders behind him now, Moreira and Fallon, who run 7th and 8th. Because Moreira has already left his mark. We'll find Moreira up the inside of him as they go around turn 13, and that was of course the corner where Moreira and Acosta came together yesterday. Guevara's really have to get his elbows out here to try and stay in some sort of strong position in this leading group, as the top 3 they'll probably be half aware of that because of course they've gone past him earlier in the lap. They won't know quite how much trouble is in just behind them, but this is an opportunity for them to try and pull away a little bit because the gap starts to form with Holgado running 4th now. Artigas pulls out on the inside. He's going to try and have a go at Acosta, but the 3 enjoying a little bit of a comfort zone at the moment.
Yeah, this is the first time in all 3 races we've seen here in Aragon that Ethan Guevara hasn't had things his own way. It looked as though it was going to be that and a little bit more when he eased his way to the front of the race with only 4 laps completed. But suddenly, everybody has decided to bite back at the 16-year-old and he finds himself coming across the line down in 6th place off the rear with the number 38 to David Salvador. But that will certainly help Guevara when the leading trio are going at each other like that.
Yeah, he had to check that Acosta. He had to slow down a little bit as he was trying to get himself out of turn 1, but he's still safe for turn in 2nd. That's Garcia on the inside of Holgado for 3rd. Guevara still running in 6th at the moment. He might just decide at the moment just to take stock for a little bit and just follow these guys. Still plenty of time, 9 laps to go for Guevara to try and make his way through the field. He's now picking off 1. He's now gone back past Salvador for 5th. Still plenty of time to go in this yet, and it doesn't look as if anyone's going to get away from this 8-rider group. So he's able to play the patient game.
Unfortunately for Max Cook, the number 30 aboard the British Talent team bike, does look as though the 2nd race today with that broken pelvis is just proving too much. He was up there trying to go with the leading group, but he's already dropped down to 12th place now. Another couple of riders queuing up behind him. It's a brave effort for him to even take part in this race. It looks as though that injury is just proving to be a little bit too much, and that comes as no surprise really, given how competitive it is at the front. Talking of the front, still Artigas, championship leader, that leads the way. Pedro Acosta settled into 2nd there as they'll then flick left here for turn 15. Down the back straight to complete lap number 7 very shortly. Guevara, meanwhile, has got himself back in front of Salvador, but it looks as though Salvador is edging ever closer to a move back in front of the number 28. He's very shortly to pop out from behind the black helmeted Aspar machine. Is the bright yellow helmeted number 38. No way through though, so Guevara will hold on to that top 5 spot. And this is exactly what Lewis was saying just one lap ago. Artigas will lead out to the final corner, but where will he find himself as we exit turn number 1?
Yeah, let's have a look. It looks like Holgado's got a very, very good run out of there, and he's going to be on the inside now. Will he lead through turn 1? Yes, he does. There are 2 Australian Galicia bikes in the leading group, but a shout out for one that you'll see just flashing through the back of the screen there. That's Jose Rueda, 32nd on the grid. Personal best a couple laps ago. He's on the swing. He's in 12th now, and just 3.8 seconds off the lead.
Well, it needs Dan Guevara to shame with a ride like that. Guevara has picked up 20 places of his own at one stage throughout the race. But it looks as though Moreno is just going to continue his charge forward. He may well have found his glass ceiling now with his last lap very similar to the guys in front of him. But at the moment, he's well on course for maybe back in a top 10 finish with what is a leading group of 8. Maybe, soon to become a leading group of 9 with Adrian Fernandez, the bright yellow Husqvarna, just in the back of your picture right there, starting to creep his way forward and into contention.
Yeah, he matched the leader, Holgado, on that last lap, but of course the leader of the line was Garcia, who got shuffled back. So he is gradually pulling these guys back in, and if they continue to squabble like this, he's going to play into his hands nicely. And of course, it took him a little bit of time yesterday to get in touch with the leading group, but he only caught a couple laps to go. If he can get there a little bit earlier this time, look at that for a move from Guevara. That's very, very tight. The 2 Aspar riders coming together. He came from way too far back there. He was coming from 3rd position. He was trying to attack for 2nd, and in the end, found his teammate right in the middle of the corner where he was, trying to place his Aspar bike. And Nico Tirol will not be pleased with that one.
He will have his head in his hands, will Nico Tirol. Contact between the 2 Aspar teammates with Holgado as a result demoted to 7th, and Guevara back to 9th. He's got it all to do all over again. Has the number 28 of Ethan Guevara. That will be music to the ears of the leading 3 in this race, and the leading 3 up against Guevara in the championship, Acosta, Garcia and Artigas. But he's done it once before. I'm sure he'll be able to do it once again as he tries to close back in onto the rear wheel of Adrian Fernandez. But you're exactly right, Lewis. That was Guevara's mistake. It was a move that he didn't have to make, and he very nearly brought himself down and his teammate too.
Yeah, I'm not even sure if he was trying to overtake his teammate initially. He was sitting 3rd as they went into turn 12. He was going up the inside of 2nd place into turn 12. And I'm not even sure whether the leader was actually in his eyesight. He was trying to take 2nd place, and all of a sudden he couldn't slow the bike down and just met his teammate in the middle. And he was right on cue. We were talking about how squabbling was leading group would bring Fernandez back into it. That's exactly what has happened. He was now up to 7th place, I think. He's ahead of both of the Aspar bikes, who are now finding themselves at the tail of this group in 8th and 9th.
We'll have to get another replay of that. You know, I'm not sure, given the fact that he's won both races this weekend from so far down on the grid, his confidence must be absolutely sky high. And you know what? He probably felt like he could do both of them, and he very nearly did as well. Holgado was late on the brakes himself and could have crossed the front end of Guevara. Probably a bit of a racing incident, but it still goes down as a lunge from Guevara to try and take both 2nd and 1st into turn 12. And there is Nico Tirol just to the right of your picture. Dagger eyes coming from the Aspar team.
You can imagine the famous double hand gesture of calm down when they're going out to us together at the moment. Guevara looks like he's just taken Holgado at the same corner that they nearly clashed last time around, turn 12. So Guevara, I think, is now up into 8th position, the leader of the 2 Aspar bikes. But they've now got a lot of ground to make up. Still 6 laps to go as they cross the line at the end of this lap, so plenty of time for them to make up that ground. But at the moment, the 2 Aspar riders have got plenty of work to do.
David Salvador, for the first time this weekend, is properly announcing himself as a contender to pick up race victory here. He's going to move back a further place thanks to Garcia, but a 6th finish and a 7th place finish earlier on today. He's always been there this weekend, but he's always been on the periphery. It looks like he's had enough of that, and he's wanting to get right amongst it here with now 6 laps to go.
Yeah, he's found himself on the outside though here. Whether he can hold off Artigas, I don't think. Yeah, Artigas on the inside.
Audacious effort from Acosta. Fair play for even trying. He sees himself stay there in 4th place. We talk about Holgado possibly just getting his ribbon as a result of that touch from his teammate Guevara. It's certainly not affected Ethan Guevara. He did drop down to 9th place. There was a good half a second off the rear of the leading 8 riders, but he's right back in amongst it now, settling into 6th, just off the rear of Lorenzo Fallon. We've not mentioned the Frenchman all race. He's been there all race long, and he's well in contention here, and bettering his best results of the years so far, which came earlier on this weekend, a 4th place finish in race 1.
Yeah, set his personal best lap that time round as well, did Fallon, so he's getting quicker as this race goes on. Morera is dropping out of time grid, and that is why he's gone down at turn 14. That's a corner that caught out a few riders earlier on in the race when some rain started to fall, so hopefully there's no repeat of that this afternoon. But yeah, that's one rider dropping out of the leading group, Morera, who's unfortunately, once again this weekend, shown his speed, shown his potential, but also shown his experience.
Yeah, nothing to show for it in the end, and there is the frustration and the realisation of the Australian Galicia talent team mechanic when he realises that his number 92 rider isn't going to come across the line. He's out of it and out of contention. They're left with just one now, the number 5, Lorenzo Fallon, trying that blue flag with the Australian Galicia. He's going to try and get going again. It's number 92, the young Brazilian. It's obviously not going to pick up any points. Rejoining 29th place. In fact, now, he's given up the ghost. That's it. Game over. It's on his way back home.
Yeah, that's also promoted his other team, Jose Herrera, up to 11th place now, and he's only the second. Ryu, who leads the second group, 9th, 12th, so a top 10 position still potentially on the cards for Herrera from near enough the back of the grid. We're right in the front. Artigas is now trying to get himself back to the very front and take the lead. Guevara attacking for third as well. He gets up the inside of David Salvador. The Costa now playing a watching brief in fifth position. It is advantage Artigas, but Guevara has clearly regrouped. He's now back up into the top 3.
Advantage Artigas, it certainly is, but the how long, that's the question. Only 4.5 laps remaining, and these guys are starting to push now as Guevara finally pulls off that 2-in-1 move up the inside of both Artigas and Garcia down into turn 12. Brilliant from Guevara.
Rehearsed it, didn't he? And of course his teammate, unfortunately, was collateral damage for that, but he's rehearsed it once and he's now made it stick. His teammate is actually on the move as well further back. We just saw him going on the inside for 6th position, I believe it was. We'll keep an eye on him. In fact, he's now in 7th. He's just got the inside of Lorenzo Fallon. Progress being made by both of the Aston Martin riders. They have regroups after that little touch with each other, which of course will land them in a bit of trouble when you go to all either of them wins the race. But we shall see. 4 laps to go as they come out of the final corner now with Artigas enjoying a slight advantage. Fallon going very wide on the end of the final corner, which will cost him drive down the main straight. But Guevara now having a look at the inside. 3 abreast into turn 1, and Guevara takes 2nd place from Jose Garcia.
That's the most defensive I've seen Artigas on the run down the start-finish straight. He had Guevara tucked in behind him. He knew that someone was there as well. Meanwhile, we've got another fall here. It's the number 81 of Senna. Andrew Easton's gone down. Another disappointment for him after he crashed out on Silly this weekend, and the championship leader has flexed his muscles there, just nudging Guevara out wide from turn number 12. That is what we love to see. About 3 laps to go very shortly, and that's certainly going to ignite one hell of a fight as we come to the start-finish line for the 12th time of asking.
Yeah, turn 12 has not been Ethan Guevara's friend in the race, has it? That's twice now, as I mentioned, he's found that piece of run off. He's 5th in the train at the moment, so quite a good run out of this final corner as Artigas leads it. 3 to go then. Artigas' lead is next to nothing, and as you can see now, it's almost disappearing. Once again, he takes that defensive line, but is Garcia going to go around the outside of him? Yes, he does. So that defensive line down the main straight did not serve Artigas well at all. Guevara has pulled 1 position back now. He's got on the inside, taking Salvador 4th position. But this is what we were talking about with Artigas earlier on. He was up and down the field like a yo-yo. This time it's Guevara who's having a bit of a messy outcome, but he still looks rapidly fast while he's doing it.
He certainly does, and you can be almost guaranteed if he gets alongside, if he makes a mistake there, he's pushed a little bit wide by Salvador, and he's allowed 2 men to go through. Holgado, his teammate, also capitalising, but here comes Guevara biting back on teammate Holgado. It's all changed once again, but he has to battle his way back through. And what I was going to say is I can understand why Artigas put in a move like that on Guevara, because this is such a pivotal race. If they're first and second, a 10-point swing in this championship either way could be absolutely vital. Artigas either heads to Valencia 20 points or just 10, and I know it's only 10 points, but when you're dealing with 20-point lead or a 10-point lead, it's absolutely huge.
Especially with 3 races still to come. Valencia in a few weeks' time. If it's only 10 points, then Guevara would know that if he wins all 3 races in Valencia, he wins the title, whatever Artigas does. But plenty of water to flow under the bridge before then, because it's Jose Garcia, who we should not rule out. He's 4th in the points at the moment, 32 off the lead. He can slingshot it right into contention with a victory here. Pedro Acosta looking to do the same. He's now third in the queue in the position and third in the championship. Artigas now having a look on the inside. He's in slipstream down his back straight. We'll keep an eye as we go into the wide shot. Here we go on Guevara. He's fourth at the moment, but he's got Salvador for company. The top four in the championship once again are top four in the race with just 2 laps to go as they cross the line here.
What a finish this is going to be in Motorland Aragon. We've had 2 belting FIM Junior Moto3 World Championship races so far, and this looks like being the best one yet. It's going to go right down to the wire here. Now just 2 laps left, and here comes Garcia looking up the inside. No way through. There is a way through for Guevara though, as Ethan Guevara, already a 2-time race winner this weekend, plots himself into 3rd place, a prime position for the 16-year-old. 1.5 remaining.
Yeah, let's see what Garcia then does to this fast left. We've seen him look pretty aggressive here on a couple of occasions already. He's having a look again at the inside. He can't quite get it through. His nose is chopped off by Artigas, who saw that move coming. Elsewhere, Acosta looks like he's getting it up as well. He's lost another one, I think, to Salva, who's on the inside of him. Indeed, 38 passes the 37. Guevara,
so smooth. Balls around the outside. Incredible stuff. He's just able to pick people off at absolute will wherever he wants. We've already seen him overtake 2 men on the brakes into turn 12. Don't be surprised if we see him dive past Artigas in 1 corner's time as they drop downhill into turn 12. Here we are. They're going to flick left over the brim of the hill at turn 11.
Already, Jack.
He's already done it at turn 11. Who needs turn 12 when he can just drive through at turn 11? And Guevara hits the front with just over a lap to go.
Penny for the thoughts of Xavi Artigas now, who's just seen Guevara, who he eased off the road at turn 12 a couple of laps ago. Just steam up the inside of him to take the lead with a lap and a half to go. This is going to be such an interesting final lap. What kind of approach does Artigas take here? He's the championship leader, but given that the guy who's closest to him is now up ahead of him, he can't really play that careful championship game. He's just going to go out on the attack.
Guevara is like a bad smell to Xavi Artigas. He just cannot get rid of it no matter what he tries. He's currently second. They're going to start the final lap with Guevara, Artigas, Garcia, Holgado and Acosta. Nothing separating the top 5. Here we go. 5.1 kilometres, just 1 lap to go. Is anybody's for the taking here in Aragon?
Oh, they nearly hit the pit boards as they go past. Guevara did his best to try and hold the defensive line, but Artigas on the inside of him and he forces him wide. That's a key move, that. It's forced Guevara way out wide and he's lost the place also to Jose Garcia. So Guevara down to 3rd. Remember, the first 2 races this week, Guevara has been so strong out of turn 15 down to the final corner. If he leads out of there, they won't see which way he went.
Oh, there he goes once more. A brave move up the inside of turn 4. Now back into skins. There goes Pedro Acosta. No, David Salvador it is. Through into 3rd place as Garcia gets beaten up. He's moved from 2nd to 4th. And here's the change for the lead. Is it a look up the inside into turn 7? A big lunge, but no way through. Artigas so hard on the brake.
This could be a damaging lap for Pedro Acosta. He's losing a lot of ground on this lap. He's come through the last checkpoint in 6th position, but he might be even lower than that. These are crucial championship points that could be disappearing out of the window for Pedro Acosta.
Big crash. Adrian Fernandez is spat over the top of his Husqvarna. Fortunately, he's up on his feet and running away. But that was a big moment. He is in the back of the pack, so it's not affected the leading contenders. They've not had to sit up, and he's still with half a lap remaining. Artigas versus Guevara.
Chance here will be out of turn 15. If you can follow Artigas through this left-hander that's coming up after this right that they go through now, they'll tip it right, then tip it left. Can Guevara get himself into the slipstream and draft past Artigas down to the final corner? If the move's going to happen, it's going to happen here.
Well, Salvador's block passing to turn 14 completely stopped any chance. Those guys 3rd and backwards from winning this race. It's down to these 2 men, as it has been all weekend long. Xavi Artigas and Guevara. Here comes Guevara looking up the inside. Can he get the job done? Yes, he can. He manages to go through at turn 16. Can he hold it? Here comes Artigas. Artigas has got it on the comeback, and it's sweet revenge surely for Xavi Artigas. Guevara will try, and Guevara takes it. Unbelievable. By 17 1,000ths of a second. One of the great performances in FIM CV Repsol history. A hat-trick of wins from 22nd on the grid. Remember the name, Ethan Guevara.
How did he do that? Look, everything that went on in his race, from 22nd on the grid, he made all that progress. He led within about 4 laps. Then he dropped back twice in collision with his teammate. He was eased wide by Artigas, and he's on the finish line. His teammate, by the way, Daniel Holgado, there was a little bit of arguing, a little bit of handbags across the line with, I think it was David Salvador, who ended up taking 3rd position. They need to be aiming maybe an arm or a leg at each other.
car. So I think, especially for the younger riders and the new riders to Rookies Cup, it'll be easier to find a nice, comfortable bike setting.
And there's only a second really in it between, in the first 8 riders, down to Max Cook, who's qualified in the middle of the third row in 8th place. Just a second between him and Yuki Kuni on top. But it won't make any difference now. It's Yuki Kuni that wins from Carlos today, and Barry Boulders. What a superb way to start the Rookies Cup for 2019. An absolutely brilliant race. Salvador picks up 4th place ahead of Fellon, Noguchi and Dupasquier. Well, that was absolutely super.
But Barry Baltus, what a push he had, and then a brave move for number 99, Carlos Tata, through the flash right-handers to get underneath Baltus in the middle of these corners.